Hello everybody, this is Grandma Joe Production here. I know I haven't made a video in a while, so I thought I'd make a video on this channel. If you don't know, I've mainly moved over to a secondary channel, Lego City Adventure. I'll leave a link to that channel in the description. I also have a third channel, Lego 2012. Again, the link for that channel will also be in the description, so please check those out. But today I really want to talk about something that personally I believe hasn't gotten that much credit online, and something that's really been bothering me for quite a while. I want to talk to you about a show that ran on Cartoon Network in 2009, The Othersiders. If you don't know, The Othersiders was a show that ran from June 17th, 2009 to October 30th, 2009 on Cartoon Network. It was a ghost hunting show, but I guess what made it a little different than some of the other ghost hunting shows was that it had teens who were doing the investigations instead of adults. So I thought that was pretty cool. It did get my attention, but I feel that it doesn't get a lot of respect. I guess one of the main reasons why it doesn't get a lot of respect was because it was part of the infamous CN Reel block. Again, you don't know CN Reel. If you don't know what CN Reel was, it was a block that ran in the summer of 2009. It's a lot of people say it was Stuart Snyder who I guess took down all the classic Cartoon Network shows and replaced them with new shows, and some of those new shows were live action. Now I'm going to say something. It probably wasn't that such a good idea to have The Othersiders or any of the CN Reel shows on Cartoon Network. The big thing is obviously the name. How can you have live action on Cartoon Network? I'll give you that. It was probably not such a good idea. But to say that none of the shows should have existed, I don't agree with that. I really don't remember a lot of the other CN Reel shows. The Othersiders was really just the one that really I guess really got me. So I really remember that show. Again, the reason that they were canceled, all those shows were canceled was because of low ratings. Again, it has to do with, oh, it's on CN Reel, you can't have live action on Cartoon Network. But personally, that doesn't mean that they should have just given up on these shows. There are plenty of other networks in the Turner Broadcasting System that could have aired these shows. TNT, maybe, True TV. I guess in the name, True TV. Maybe make like an hour-long block. True TV Kids. I don't know. Try to get or True TV Teen. I don't know. Try to get a younger audience, or CNN. It could have aired on CNN. Sure, I mean, we all know CNN for news, but what's his name? Anthony Bourdain. He's got a show on there. Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe. Somebody's got to do it. I'll say it's a pretty interesting show. It's and also, at least for The Othersiders, I'm just saying, pretty much just thinking about where The Othersiders could air. The Othersiders, personally, to me, could totally work on CNN. I guess you could view it as sort of like a bit of a documentary about ghost hunting. Sure, it's the show, investigations and whatnot. So, to me, it wouldn't really feel that out of place on CNN. So again, it could have worked in plenty of other networks in the Turner Broadcasting System. They didn't have to be on Cartoon Network. So yes, I'll give you that argument if you hate the show because it was on Cartoon Network. But I guess the second argument is that, it's another ghost hunting show. We don't need another one of those. Okay, fair enough. There are plenty of other ghost hunting shows that you could watch. But again, The Othersiders was pretty much the only. It was the first ghost hunting show that I ever saw, and I thought it was pretty cool. I've heard of ghost hunters and all that, but I never did watch it. And when The Othersiders was canceled, I guess you can say try to fill the void by trying to watch other ghost hunting shows. So I heard of Ghost Hunters. I tried Ghost Hunters. I couldn't really get into it. I'll probably try again to try to get into it. Ghost Lab, I never saw that one. But I guess the one that really that I do like now would have to be Ghost Adventures. Ghost Adventures it's my go-to paranormal show now. It's pretty much the only ghost hunting show that I watch. So yeah, but what I think definitely something that it goes for I guess in favor of the Outsiders was the fact that it had teens doing the investigation instead of adults. While in all these other ghost hunting shows that I mentioned, it's adults who are doing the investigation. So I thought, okay, yeah, that sounds pretty pretty innovative. Again, the Outsiders, I did like that show a lot, and the third argument that I hear out of all the arguments I've heard is like, oh, it's just stupid, don't watch that, but I feel that's a very weak argument to make. Everyone has their own opinion on the show. I know people who didn't like the show. I know people who did like the show. So again, it all depends on your on what your preference is. So that whole argument that the show is stupid it's just it doesn't work for me. This show got to me so fast that in that summer of 2009 I actually went on vacation to Cancun. So the first thing I did on the Wednesday when I was in Cancun, what I did, turn on the TV and see, oh, it was The Outsiders on. Sadly, it was the Latin American version of Cartoon Network. So yeah, they didn't have the shows on the Latin American version of Cartoon Network. I actually think that in Latin America, and I think also Brazil too, they tried to do I guess a lot of people would consider Brazil to be part of Latin America, but that doesn't. We won't get into that discussion. But I think they tried to do their own version of CN Real, but I think it failed for it only lived for a month, so it probably didn't do good over there either. Again, that's a whole argument. You can't have live action. I'll give you that one. But again, so I didn't get to watch that episode of The Outsiders. I was like, oh, I want to watch it so bad, and I think this was before I found out all the episodes were online. I'll get to that in a minute. So, but I know at that time, one of my cousins, he had I think it was Comcast, so he had on demand, and so my dad was like, oh, I'm gonna go drive over there to go with my family. You want to come? I'm like, okay. Yeah, and so I go over there and I start talking to my cousin about the show, and he's like, oh yeah, I watched that show, and so oh yeah, I missed that episode. Could we see the list of the episodes? And he went into his on demand, and it was there, so we watched it. So I was all caught up. I guess you didn't have to watch that episode to be caught up. Every episode is itself new, so it's not like a sitcom or anything. But again, I liked it so much that I just had to watch it. Again, October 30th, 2009, 6 years ago. It was the Alcatraz 1 hour special. It was their series finale. I tuned into that. I watched both airings. I have DirecTV, so I got the East Coast feed and the West Coast feed. I watched both of them. I was just thinking, we'll wait for for the new episodes to come out, because I remember the summer 2009, each week they would bring out a new episode. I watched them all, and I think the last episode of the first season aired the week I started 6th grade, and so the next week I tuned into Cartoon Network and it wasn't on. I'm like, hey, where is it? And where is it? I kind of just I was pretty I was pretty bummed out about that. But then I guess around mid-September, when Cartoon Network starts advertising their Halloween specials and stuff, they had an ad saying, oh yeah, new episodes of The Outsiders. So I'm like, oh cool. So I tuned in all of October watching it. They had it Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I believe. But I think they only had it for 2 weeks, and then it's either I had the wrong time or they didn't air. I really don't know. So I would go to turn on the TV at Cartoon Network at 6, and it wasn't there. So that was around the time that I found the episodes were online on CartoonNetwork.com and on YouTube. So I would go and watch them, and then they had the Alcatraz episode. I watched it, thought it was really cool. When I went to Alcatraz, I went into cell D14, and me and another one of my cousins. If you watched my Legacy Adventure series, Alex, she does the voices of all the females and the little kids. We went to Alcatraz, and so I went into cell D14, and I just walked around, and I just kept telling her hey, look at me, I'm where Jackie was, just joking around. But then the shows didn't come back. There were a few people saying we want new episodes. I think one of the cast members, I think it was Casey, who tweeted that there isn't going to be a third season. So again, that was that just again bummed me out. So yeah, no, but then so I knew they weren't going to make any new episodes. I kind of accepted that, so I just kept watching the episodes online. But I think it was somewhere around the mid to end of 2011 they took them off of Cartoon Network.com. So then I bought the second season on iTunes, and actually the real reason I bought the second season on iTunes was because there was an episode, the Camino Sawmill, that for some reason didn't air on TV and wasn't on Cartoon Network.com. So I really just bought the second season for that. But then, actually, I think I bought it before they took all the episodes off. But then they took off the episodes, so I bought the first season, and now I have the entire series. So a lot of the episodes were on YouTube. A lot of different people try to have posted them. I think even someone had tried to post them up just a month ago, but it got taken down. I did actually try to put up the entire series up on YouTube, but they took them down 2 weeks later. I would seriously get 1,000 views a day from each video. So Cartoon Network must have noticed and said, hey, how we're not making money. This is our stuff. We're gonna take it down. And to me, honestly, that seemed kind of stupid because if you're not gonna put it on your website or have it selling on iTunes. I don't even think it's on iTunes anymore. Or even I don't know if you want to put it on Netflix or even release it on DVD. I guess they can do that if they want the money. But if they're not doing any of those things, I just don't understand why they wouldn't just let someone who was not making any money off it. If anyone who's part of taking videos down, or because you work for Cartoon Network and you think we're trying to make money off you. I'm duly noting that I did not make a single cent out of posting those episodes. In fact, I spent around maybe $30 buying the entire series. So you made money off me. I made no money off you. I want that to be duly noted. So yeah, many times the episodes would be online. I'd be able to watch them. Now they're very, very hard to find. I think there's they only have a few episodes that are still online, but yeah, if you want the episodes, I think you have to go to some I don't know if you want to go to Pirate Bay or something. So you gotta do some work if you want those episodes now, or just find someone who has the episodes and somehow get them from them. I don't know.